Transactional funding is designed to be a very short-term loan for the purchase of a property. The amount of time the loan is in effect is usually less than 1 or 2 hours. These types of loans are done in real estate investing when an investor needs money to buy and close on a property, but he has no money himself. However, he has a buyer for the same property who is able to purchase it for cash. The first thought of most new investors is to assign the contract to an end buyer, let him use his money to buy the property, and the investor simply collects an assignment fee. That's the way that most wholesale transactions are done, where there's no money, no credit, and no risk. This method is impractical if the seller will not allow an assignment of his contract or the profit margin is too large. The exact amount of too large a profit varies greatly from seller to seller and buyer to buyer, but we generally try to keep the profit below $15,000 if we are assigning the contract to an end buyer. If the profit is too large, you run the risk of the seller or end buyer changing their mind and you losing the deal. To overcome too large a profit issue or no assignment clause in a contract, we often have to do 2 closings of the same property, which is called a double closing. The cost is slightly less than twice the first closing, and in the bigger picture it's small compared to losing the deal. Once the investor knows he has to do a double closing and he has an end buyer in hand who's paying cash, he needs to find a transactional funder to loan him the money for the purchase of the property for at least a couple of hours. Dear fellow real estate investors, the following information is believed to be accurate and was derived from the websites or other sources indicated below. It should not be considered absolutely reliable, as lenders can change their lending guidelines at any time. You should check before you make any decision to fund your real estate transaction using any of the indicated providers. Some lenders say they will lend in any state, while their information contains limitations on the states where they actually loan. The first one we're going to review is TransactionalFundingFL.com. They're also known as Heritage Realty Services, Inc. What's unique about Heritage is the first $50,000 is free in the Tri-County area of Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade. You should call for information if you're in another county. Time for approval is as little as 12 hours, no membership required, and a simple funding agreement to be signed. This is just a summary of the first group of transactional funders. Once again, remember that they are listed starting with the smallest minimum requirement, which is TransactionalFundingFL.com, which is Heritage Realty Services, where there is no minimum, and the first $50,000 is free if it falls into the Tri-County area of South Florida. They fund only in the state of Florida. This is the next set of summary for transactional funding lenders, and you can see that there is a membership requirement on 2 of the sites, as I mentioned, shortfunding.com and transactionalfunding.com. Thanks for joining me for this overview of transactional funders, and I wish you unlimited success in your real estate investing career.